For those of you who don't know, I enjoy reading comics quite a lot. So I thought I'd share my love of the art form with a little show I like to call Comics Corner. Comics Corner! My plan for Comics Corner is to give you my opinion on comics you may not be aware of, comics that are under the radar, that maybe you should be given a chance to. These might be big, flashy superhero stories, they might be small, black and white independent comics, or most likely they're going to be something in the middle. And today's comic is the first 2 issues of The Four Doctors, a Doctor Who event from Titan Comics. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I love Doctor Who. I've completely gone off script. I'm just saying how amazing Doctor Who is. And strangely, it is one of the things that first introduced me to comics. It's the first comic I really remember reading is this one, The Mark of Mandragora. I used to get this out of the library all the time when I was younger. Read it so many times I'm pretty sure I damaged the library copy, and then I bought my own. And ironically, one of the stories in that very book was written by Paul Cornell, who's the guy who's written the Four Doctors miniseries. So of course I was dying to jump into it and see what it was like. How right I was to do so. Comics that are based on existing properties, so TVs, films, books, that sort of thing, can often feel inconsequential, like they don't really matter. They sometimes come across as something less than the main event, so the TV show in Doctor Who's case. But that's really not the case here. The Four Doctors feels like a perfect continuation of the TV show, and it really could be an episode in itself. Paul Cornell has a great track record with Doctor Who. He's written 8 Doctor Who novels, 3 episodes of the new TV series, and several comics as well. He also created the fan favourite companion Bernice Summerfield in the novels, and has written several novels and audio plays featuring her both with and without the Doctor. He's also got a large comics pedigree, having recently written for both DC and Marvel. This is a brilliant comic, and there's one particular aspect that really makes it stand out for me. The characters in the comic all read like the characters on TV would sound. The speech patterns, the way they address each other is perfect. 10 is flippant, 11 has the world on his shoulders but is just getting on with it, and 12, well, 12 is authoritative and more than a little bit cranky. Paul Cornell manages to breathe confident, 3-dimensional life into the comics exclusive characters he's got in this story as well. Alice, who is the 11th Doctor's companion, and Gabby, who is the 10th. Now both of these characters, I'm told, have been in the 10th and 11th Doctor's comics respectively since their runs started in Titan Comics. And they really do feel like fully formed characters, able to hold their own against the Doctors and Clara. It's very rare that a comic makes me laugh out loud, but Four Doctors managed it several times. Whether it's the 12th Doctor misquoting Jerry Maguire and then insisting that the 10th pokes him, or the 11th Doctor soliloquising to pursuing Reapers about where he buys his comics, or the 10th Doctor doubting and then quoting the 11th within the space of 2 panels, these moments are pitch perfect. And as far as the plot is concerned, it's a great way to bring multiple Doctors together. Without giving too much away, Clara finds a photograph of the 3 Doctors meeting, a meeting that none of them can remember. 3 Doctors, I hear you say? But isn't the comic called 4 Doctors? Well, yes it is, although you only get a brief glimpse of the 4th Doctor to be involved in the story right at the start of issue 1, and it's the War Doctor. Although how he figures into the rest of the story is unclear so far, but I'm really keen to find out. The artwork to me is how recognisable characters should be done within a comic format. The likenesses are very good, you can easily differentiate between who is who and they look like their televisual counterparts, but at the same time it's not photorealistic, it's got a cartoony edge to it, which means that they are comic-y enough that they can sit alongside the slightly more outrageous designs like the Vord, who look much better than their old TV versions. The artwork's also beautifully energetic, with the sequences where people are running away from things feeling dynamic and exciting. I don't have a lot more to say about the artwork. I really like it, and I think Neil Edwards has done a superb job, but I would like him to draw some more splash pages. The Four Doctors was always going to be entertaining for me, but I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. It genuinely feels like a big budget episode of the show. If this had been the 50th anniversary episode, I really wouldn't have minded, although don't get me wrong, I do love Day of the Doctor. There are loads of little nods to continuity of the series and the history of the series. The 10th Doctor's continual questioning of how the 12th can possibly exist is a brilliant piece of retconning, as it shows that the 10th Doctor was well aware of the fact that he was, by the end of his tenure, the 12th regeneration of the Doctor, including the War Doctor, and that time he very selfishly regenerated into an identical version of himself. I really cannot recommend this comic enough. It's out weekly, first 2 issues are out now, third one will be out this week, which annoyingly I'm going to have to wait for as my favourite comic shop is shut this week because the owner's taking a well-deserved break. But if you're a fan of Doctor Who and comics, or just a fan of Doctor Who, or just a fan of comics, I still think you should pick this up. It's amazing. Go out and buy it, you really are not going to be disappointed.